Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another day of great Paladins Esports. It's the Masters land, and we are ready to see some players master this competition. My name is Rainy, and of course, I'm joined by Hi-Rez Pretty Hair. It's been a while since the dynamic duo has been back in action, but we're ready to kick off the day today with a great game that a lot of people are definitely looking towards. It's the Wildcard matchup, and these two teams, one of them is going to go home right now, which is going to be pretty exciting to see.
Absolutely.
But we've got some other things, Nick. Yesterday, pretty exciting day.
Light show of a day yesterday. So Group A is done and dusted. Was taken care of yesterday. First matchup of that day was District 69 versus Cube Team. D69 took the 3-0 over Cube Team. Kamyker Esports and Eager. Played twice that day. Was pretty close, but as you can see, D69 and Kanga did come out on top of their group.
And Group B is where everything could change. We saw a lot of a dynamic yesterday, largely centered around a specific champion. We'll get into that a little bit more as we move forward. But today could spell something different. We're already starting things off with a wildcard match, WASD versus AGG. Then we'll be getting into Carbon 6 versus Nocturnes, a team from Latin America, and the team formerly known as Burrito. I feel like formerly known as Prince. I'm introducing a pop star here. Astral Authority, again, will then play the winner of this game we will be casting, but that will be after the Carbon 6 game. So a lot of exciting stuff still upon us today.
Yep, the wild card is going to be a very close matchup. Obviously, Astral Authority consistently coming out on top of AGG, but that's not really the case for WASD. They've shown the potential to take games off District 69 and Carbon 6.
They've been playing like hot fire. And you know what else is hot fire in the realm, guys? Volcanic Makoa. Got to get your hands on that new skin. And all you got to do, it's not crystals. You don't have to pay me anything, although you can if you want. You just have to get to level 30 before open beta ends, and that just gives you this great skin.
That's that free skin. You know, you can get there just a little bit quicker if you pick up an account booster. Those are 25% off right now to help you hit the mark. Get that free, delicious Volcanic Makoa skin.
I thought we were in Alpharetta, not Value Town.
Oh,
that's right.
But tis. It's gonna be a long day.
You know, you got started off, man. You know, we got to have fun with this.
Yeah, yesterday, we had Vox kick us off yesterday. Someone's got to do it.
You know what? And the thing is, yesterday we started off. We had admittedly we had some technical difficulties, and you know, today it's just fun because we gotta. Sometimes, you know, there's a lot happens here at LAN. It's live. Things are going on. Players, you know, they're reacting on the moment. Everyone's reacting. That's what makes it so exciting. The energy's palpable. You could feel that, and I think it's just you got to have fun with it, people. But the thing that's cool about it for me now, going into this wildcard matchup, focusing our attention to that. WASD Sports. Most people say, who are WASD? I know. I thought Interlopers made it. They were. Just a name change.
Formerly known as. You can see there a couple of names. You might recognize spunkki and Unbelievable. Two guys that were on big rosters for the HRX Invitational. Unbe played with D69. spunkki played with, at the time, a Burrito, but another big name here, Mutustiina. He is the sub for this squad. Kamyker and skillganon rounding out that roster.
Pretty impressive stuff, and there is spunkki as well, one of the more experienced players in Europe. He's been to both lands we've had thus far for Paladins, and this is his third, except he made it with a team that not a lot of people were sure he was going to make it on. I think the theme, when you look at WASD and spunkki in general, is that they've started off hot, they've had some very cold moments in the middle, and have started to pick things back up again, but inconsistency has kind of been the name of the game for them. Can they be consistent today, Nick, to really get the edge over AGG?
Yeah, they have kind of the LAN experience, I think, a little bit over Team AGG, who have a lot of new faces. Some you may recognize, some you may not. Some you may just know the names of. Go ahead and run you through these. You can see Rovaniik going to be a key player today, as he is the main Bomb King player for the squad. Prince Danny, your boy. Of course, JAKEB over there on the far left. Bubble Boy, big streamer. You guys may know and recognize him. ElZulu as well. Rounding out the big bad tank player.
These guys, Nick, we talked about them. We actually met them. They came in a few days earlier. They play tested with us. They got smiles on their faces this morning. They're excited. Yeah. Danny, he told us specifically. He said, I'm going to put on a show for you guys today. He's kissing his biceps already. The show begins. I'm not sure that's the one we were all waiting to see, but
the gun show.
he is an energetic guy. And, you know, part of me loves that about this team and their energy. But part of me is wary. If things go wrong, sometimes having you know, this energy on your side to begin with, it could be a little startling when suddenly there's nothing to talk about. You're getting 4-0'd and you're like, well, I can't be happy anymore.
Yeah, especially when you don't have a lot of experience on the energy. It's going to be important to keep that high, to keep that going, to keep it rolling. Make sure you have the momentum on your side. And WASD, you could see there, some relatively new faces, but they have that experience, they have that leadership to kind of anchor them and pull them through if things start to go south. So a lot riding on the shoulders, I think, of spunkki. Mutustiina, he is their substitute player, but a very, very good player. I love watching this guy. And he fills a similar role to the player that he is substituting for, so I don't think he is going to slow them down a bit.
Yeah, and this is a guy that we've talked about that can be a, Vox and I were joking with the words tilt and pivot. He's the one that can tilt the game for them. He's the one that they can pivot on. If Mutustiina goes off, this entire team is so dangerous, but will he step up is the question. Another guy you have to pay attention to, Nick, especially when you just transfer back to AGG, it's this guy right here. It's Rovaniik. This is the designated Bomb King player. Before Bomb King had his time in the light right now.
Before it was cool.
Before it was cool, Rovaniik has been a staple guy to really understand the intricacies of Bomb King, and today, he's ready to shine.
That's true. Everybody's got to play him today. Everyone's been first picking him, but you're right. The intricacies here, I think, is what's going to help set this team apart in particular, guys. Jaguar Falls. This is going to be a best-of-3 set. First map up on the docket is Jaguar Falls. Really,
really interesting map here. It's a common favorite for the North American teams and the beginning European teams as well. But you see OC kind of threw a wrench in the plans yesterday, drafting Timber Mill and Frozen Guard quite a bit, but now with none of that here, these two teams both looking at eliminations. They're gonna say Bomb King first pick. I can't believe it, Nick.
And the crowd goes wild.
This is just madness. What is it? No, okay, Bomb King first pick. Pretty expected.
Yep, super strong character right now after receiving his lag compensation. For those of you that may be new or wondering why this guy has been first picked every time, it was a character that was very hard to pull off, so as a result, he had to have a high payoff. But it makes it very easy now with that lag server or client side auto attacks there to land his immense amount of damage.
And what I like WASD going for here, and the conversation we've been having over Twitter and just over in our personal discussions with players, is that it's not about the Bomb King. We know he's a factor. It's what team can really beat the Bomb King. How can you put together a strategy that can go against it? We've seen the Makoa Shaolin try to be the answer. It wasn't. Now the Makoa Drogo second pick is something that seems like WASD are favoring here.
Absolutely. Shaolin Barrack, the answer for AGG. Shaolin was something that was leaned on a little bit yesterday to try and deal with the Bomb King as best you can, but it is obviously, of course, conditional on landing that Impaler Error Stun. I imagine this Drogo is going to go over to Mutustiina, so want to get their impact sub on something that he's comfortable with right out of the gate.
And Droxus hovered over here. Remember, this is a best-of-3, so these picks, they could mean the world. AGG with first pick will mean they'll have the potential Bomb King priority over 2 games. So it really is up to WASD to use this last and final pick, now that Androxus and Ying have been locked, to turn the tide and get a win without the King.
So what do WASD go for? Still Victor on the table, but
This
it
is
will
what
be
I
the
like.
Buck.
I like it.
Putting some flank pressure on that backline, the Shaolin. The Bomb King, depending on how, we've seen it played a number of different ways, heavy, almost flank king style, where you just head straight to the backline, but also sitting in the backline with some of the, like the Shaolins or the Kinessas, just playing babysitter.
Yeah, he can do that. On Jaguar Falls, it's going to be tough to do so. It's so tight-knit. And so is the competition between these two teams. It's the Masters Land. Game 1, Set 1. AGG going up versus WASD. Recurve for AGG for Jake B on Shaolin. 4-5 for ElZulu's Barrack. Darkstalker for Prince Danny's Androxus. Accelerant for Rovaniik's Bomb King. And Focusing Lens for Bubble Boy's Ying.
For the wild card out of Europe. Unbelievable. We'll be taking half shell Makoa. Bounce House for Kamyker's Buck, skillganon, and Spirits Chosen for his Maldamba, Mutustiina, Fusillade for his Drogos, and spunkki, rounding things out on Maelstrom Grok.
Fusillade going to make a big difference here and see if they can make it happen. Jake B goes into planet but misses the Impale, so won't find any follow-up damage off of that. Buck starts leaping in. First blood for Kamyker, already takes down the Bomb King. Kamyker with 2. Mutustiina takes down Danny, and WASD aren't afraid of royalty.
Stunned into the wall as well. Spunkki, great job abusing this flank, splitting up AGG looked like they wanted to go a couple of different ways, but they were met by the freight train that is Buck. The respawn starting to come through now. WASD Sports now north of 50% on the capture point. AGG now, the ball is in their court for the takeback.
Rovaniik again pressured out. He could die twice here. Rovaniik just escaping, but he's getting chased out, and Kamyker will find another kill. Barrick looking to go down as well. ElZulu here getting just dominated by Unbelievable's Makoa performance, and WASD take the first objective clinically.
Mutustiina there launching the salvo off in the distance to try and get a couple of dismounts up on the high ground, waiting for his Makoa and maybe land a dredge anchor. Not going to come through this time. We'll just continue to move the payload here. spunkki holding down the front line, being that pseudo support, pseudo front line there. Obviously being able to support his Makoa with the healing totem. Nice dredge anchor in from Unbelievable. 2 minutes remain on the payload push.
Such a fan, spunkki, speaking of this Maelstrom Grok. He has played it and taken it. JAKEB, Rovaniik now trying to finally respond. Bomb King largely been ineffective to start, and really looking at how do you counter it. I'm sure both of these teams have thought about how to do so, and Buck seems to be the answer right now. Kamyker, even without a Torvald bubble, is making a huge impact.
Mutustiina already has the Dragon Punch primed and ready to go. That just speaks to how much damage he is putting out into these team fights. He even beat the Maelstrom Grok to the mark there on his ultimate. So 1 minute and 30 remains here. AGG have found some stabilization, but WASD, they're back as 5 strong, looking for an angle to break this defense.
Danny trying to zone out here. He knows he's got to keep him. Doesn't spot the Grok. Going to dash away. Hit two shots as well. Hit 3, hit 4. Danny's looking to go, but now he gets chased down. spunkki and Kamyker combined for the kill under the Godslayer, and Barrick is running for his life, but gets pulled into the half shell, throws a shield of his own, and his will win the battle for the day. Healing station keeping him alive with those turrets, and now a grouped up WASD on the retreat.
Ooh, very punishable pincer here. One's going to go down, two's going to go down. Bubble Boy with the double kill, surging forward. Want to confirm this one onto Unbelievable. Going to whiff there, but Kamyker now deterring some of this aggression. Will they continue to push this? They've got them both pinched in a corner here. They need to find these kills before the respawns get back.
Getting trapped between a rock and a barrack seems to be the case for WASD, and after a very good start, they haven't been able to keep the rhythm, and AGG have found the answer. Maybe it's land nerves. Both of these teams new to land mostly, and especially AGG. I don't think any of them have been to a LAN experience, and so maybe it is first point nerves coming out here, and they're finally getting a little bit of play.
Got to just get those first bloods in, but here comes a big Dread Serpent from downtown. It's going to land onto a lot of members of AGG. Kamyker's deep in the backline right now. spunkki's already been cleaned up. PrinceDanny with a nice angle on this backline. Rovaniik cleaned up Kamyker as well, so the flank pressure all the way in favor of AGG.
This is 4 there, but they're able to pick up Moldava anyways. Nice impale by JAKEB will largely set up Unbelievable to be taken down by the flankers, and Danny is having a little bit more freedom than they need to allow him to have on WASD. AGG feeling successful now, things even and squared away, except for the 300 credits that they are down as a result of not winning the first
This is
point.
the loudest group of players I think we've seen play it. Like they're only 20, 30 feet away from us, but they have been yelling after every single team fight. The crowd getting involved a little bit here at Hi-Rez Studios, but these item selections starting to come through. Hitting that tier 2 mark is important. Despite losing the payload, they dragged the round out long enough and got enough kills to get those record 2s online, those cauterized 2s online, as well as ElZulu kind of spreading the field here, running Rejuvenate 1, Resilience 1, and a Chronos 1.
ElZulu here on an 11 streak as well. It's going to mean a lot, especially if skillganon can pick up the kill, get that Dread Serpent even closer as a result of getting more ultimate charge as a result of killing people with a higher streak. But Mutustiina starts things off with a good zoning salvo, while Rovaniik jumps in with a Grumpy Bomb just to stave off any pressure onto the barrack. But Mutustiina so low, will he connect with anyone? He actually goes to retreat, saves it, gets the 30%, and now Rovaniik's out for blood.
He's going to miss, though. Be dredge anchored in right on top of a gourd and taken out almost immediately. Kamyker looking for an angle. It's going to be a tough one to break. 2 kills in favor of WASD. spunkki finds the 3rd, hooked in. PrinceDanny's the 4th. ElZulu looking to be the 5th here. 12 streak, shut down. Ultimate charge over for Kamyker.
Such unfortunate stuff there coming out. Both teams yelling in the background. You could hear the energy, but really, you could hear some of the nerves. Rovaniik goes in with an ultimate, doesn't hit anyone, just uses it too early. Maybe that's a little bit of excitement coming through, and I gotta say, I'm not seeing him play as very, very typically strong Bomb King the way he normally does.
But a little bit of an overextension there. Punished 2 quick kills back in favor of AGG. 63% 53% on the point for WASD before they gave up that fight almost immediately. 93% and climbing. Kamyker's going in. Stuns out. AGG find the second payload.
Incredible stuff there by AGG to come back. It seemed like they had lost it all, and especially using all those ultimates as well. Just take it back with sheer zoning power. That Grumpy Bomb is so effective that Bomb King brings to the realm. 2 minutes and 13 seconds now. They got plenty of time to start this push.
Big dangerous zone coming out here from the Bomb King and your boy Prince Danny. Half Shell does come down, but that Wrecker 2 already starting to rip through. Dredge Anchor missed. It's not going to find its mark. Fire Spit does, though, onto 2 members of AGG. 2 minutes remain and already looking to break the base is AGG.
Grumpy Bomb maybe going to get a stun, but no follow-up quite yet. Mutustiina on the backside doesn't have a Fire Spit, but he's got the direct Fusillade damage, and that's enough to slay JAKEB and put Team AGG on the back foot. Rovaniik jumps in, though, looking for the dragon in the skies, and he's going to have to run because Prince Danny's on the tail. Will the Godslayer finish him off? Seems like he will not. We've got to listen in right now as AGG begin the push.
We have another minute. Yo, jump, that far behind. What's up, guys? Don't worry about it no more.
Done it.
Speaker, last side here. Speaker.
Yep.
Coming up towards Jake.
I'm right here.
Where we going?
Go
I'm going
right.
straight mid. Come right here. Okay, right side.
Yeah.
You don't see anyone yet? I gotta push
I'm
one phase.
mid right now. I'm on chain mid right now.
Three phase. Box it up.
Burn it, shoot them.
Burn it.
Box
We
right.
got
Right.
We got to drop.
Yeah.
I'm done. Take it up.
I'm leaving but alone. I'm here.
Yo, I got it.
Get the rock.
Let's go.
Box behind the box. Zulu heal. Box. Something there.
We moved them. Yo, both behind.
They got 2
I'm on.
There's 3 behind.
We gotta pick one. Alright. It's okay, we got another push here still.
And you can just see here as the WASD defense comes through. A lot of action, a lot of talking, Nick. How do you take that listen in here? What's your impression?
Frantic, calling it out, making sure that their target selections are on point. These guys aren't afraid. The second somebody steps to a safe space and somebody else is out of position, they're not really chasing kills too much. They are always focused on who is most vulnerable.
And that is important here, especially talking about the fact that they've got their ultimates. They got to make big decisions right now. Their communication has to be on point, and so does their aim. Rovaniik proves well, but he does go down, and that could be vital in terms of the viability of this push. No Bomb King ult, but they've got Androx's ult, and Danny takes down skillganon. He's looking to find more, going after the turtle. If he can get unbelievable here, they may just have a chance.
But does he see the Drogos behind and able to catch one rocket, reset his nether step, at least one charge to get out? He stays alive for now. Dragon Punch is here to find stabilization. Mutustiina needs to go big, finds the Fire Spit onto one, overtime ticking out, but there's a big King Bomb into the backline. Rovaniik tries to find it, and he will.
Rovaniik gets a skillganon down, but Mutustiina's still alive. It's up to JAKEB to try and get an impale, maybe get a planet, and finish off this dragon. Bubble Boy goes down. Ultimates used and wasted. And AGG and WASD find themselves even yet again in terms of the score.
AGG lay it on the line heavily there. WASD with Buckwild, the only ultimate that is truly down. Skillganon only 14% off the mark for his Dread Serpent. So big ultimate advantage heading into this round for WASD Sports. The credits are going to be about even as both teams have now captured a payload, both of them failing to push it to conversion. But you can see the items here starting to come through for WASD. Getting those Havens online is going to be more and more difficult for the members of AGG to take them down. More and more weight continues to rest on Rovaniik's shoulders with this Bomb King as Havens have been taken across the board for WASD.
Mutustiina here on an 11 streak. That's something they've got to deal with. This Drogos has been a monster against AGG, and now great Grumpy Bomb Zone is going to immediately give AGG just a few % on the point, but ElZulu's got to be careful there. Mutustiina starts to turn his attention onto him. He will go down quickly, but here's a Dragon Punch. He will be looking to find a tank. He's going to go left, right, center, try and duck and dive, and he will find PrinceDannyTV, though it's not the most value. He gets some value.
He takes his primary counter out of the sky, though. Big salvo with the Dredge Anchor to clump them up, and both punished. Mutustiina finds a double kill, 3 in this engagement. He's looking to make it 4, but it's going to be spunkki that cleans up Bubble Boy. 54% and climbing for WASD Sports.
Yeah, at only 69 right now in the zone. If it's not perfect, could give AGG another chance. They've got 36%, and they're being largely very aggressive, but PrinceDannyTV going down here should seal the deal. That should be, and it will be, WASD's point in the lead now. 3-2, 2 minutes left. If they can push this to completion, they win this first game out of a best of 3 and get that much closer to moving on to the next round.
Very, very low is everyone from WASD right now surging forward. Unbelievable. Already with a double kill, looking for more. One more shot's going to do it on the JAKEB. Unbe with a triple kill here, looking to make it a quadra. Might even pop the Ancient Rage if he needs to stay alive, but no. He elects to shell spin out wisely back to his team.
He almost looked to pop the Ancient Rage, it seemed there. It seemed like it was just a trigger decision, just a little bit too late. Snake in the air, trying to find a lucky stun. We've seen Jera on D69 hit plenty of those, but today it will not turn out their way. WASD still pushing, but AGG holding strong. We haven't seen them falter in these holds. This is largely where they've been able to keep WASD away from.
And it's a blessing that that triple kill from Unbe came out as late as it did, or that could have resulted in conversion. But 2 for 2 right now in this engagement. AGG find their third kill. Ancient Rage still on the table here. 1 minute and 30 seconds remaining on the push. It's close enough to maybe look at conversion if they can swing this team fight. Ancient Rage looking to do it.
Turtle swinging hard, gonna hit him with the shell spin, gonna get the pluck, and he's gonna pluck him down. Dredge Anchor getting the kill, and it seems like Kamyker there to follow up that big body just so hard for the Bomb King and the rest of AGG to burst down quick enough.
Ooh.
Danny's up in the air, he's trying to get as much damage as he can, but the Accursed Arm won't do enough, and Kamyker's still alive on his tail. Danny's gotta win this fight.
Mutustiina coming through. Rovaniik already on a double kill. Needs to go big in this engagement. His team needs him now more than ever. There's PrinceDanny with a double kill as all the attention is being paid to the king. Triple for the Godslayer.
Danny comes in big on that play, Nick, and 43 seconds here. AGG again show resolve. Nobody wants to give this up. If AGG lose on their game that they get to play Bomb King, it is spelling trouble for them in the next round. So they know everything comes down to this defense. They've got to take advantage of it.
And already so much spent in the way of ultimates for WASD, whereas AGG sitting on a lot. They need to hold this defense with as few ultimates as possible so they can take something into the final round.
It's over. I don't understand how they can do this right now. Rovaniik's got to make the play of his life. They already took the tank and the healer down. Danny's already too far pushed up. This will be the end of the game. WASD Sports, one of the first we've seen, aside from D69, beat the Bomb King.
Dethroned right now is Rovaniik and AGG. They were relying so much. They were confident that if they could win the coin flip and get the Bomb King first pick, you could see just the looks on their faces. They're just stunned right now. That
says it all. Danny, no longer laughing, smiling. This is the conversation I was having earlier. What happens when you have this type of energetic feel for your team and then it goes away? It's so unlike what you're used to when things aren't going well. How do you bounce back and fight, especially after you had every advantage possible, and then you still lose the game? What does that mean going into game 2 here?
I mean, it means such a stellar performance, right? It's hard, right, when the sub just feels like he's carrying so much of the weight. I mean, we talked about this guy filling a very similar role to the player that he is subbing in for. He's had a lights-out performance throughout his Masters qualifying, breaking the 100,000 damage barrier, and that Dragon Punch, very key on that final point fight when he did punch Androxus. Androxus, the primary counter to the Drogos in that matchup, but he was able to take him out and then have free reign in the rest of the team fight.
And part of that too is that Danny, loving the Androxus, Mutustiina being able to flex onto the Androxus and be just as dangerous, but also onto the Drogos means he knows what Androxus is trying to do to him. He knows the moments where Androxus is weak against Drogos and strong, and he can wait for those right moments, and he largely did. He didn't die very much in that game. Only 6 deaths as well. We saw him on 11 streaks all the time, but a guy who I think largely you saw a little bit more confident at the start of the game than when you looked at him. Dejected would be what I said. Rovaniik right now just played the Bomb King. He's known for it. Didn't show up the way he wanted to for his team.
69,000 damage, 23-2, not a bad performance by any means, and he's kind of had a lot of expectations set on him because he saw the impact. He's like we said, played Bomb King before. It was cool. The character set an intense precedent yesterday. So he had a lot of expectations coming into this, right? They were so worried about winning the coin flip to get first pick, to get Bomb King. That is a lot of pressure on you. Yeah. Everyone's got Haven in that game defending against every damage type except from yours. It's like, this game is riding on me.
You're right. It's pressure. And we talk about not coming to LAN or playing in a LAN environment, having actual players in your community watching you. just a few feet away, whether they're talking about your performances positively or negatively, that can affect these young men here today. And though Rovaniik does come close to top damage, JAKEB getting that by a mile with the 90,000, just a lot of deaths, more deaths than they needed. And you see here just the story, Nick.
Mutustiina, man. Far and above on the Drogos, breaking the 100K barrier. And despite, I mean, we regard Androxus as one of the primary counters to this character, but Mutustiina, like you mentioned, plays a lights-out Androxus himself. Ins and outs of these characters is very important to have knowledge of going in whenever you're trying to make your champion selections.
And I think one of the keys as well, when you talk about how do you shut down a Bomb King, what do? His whole goal right now and his strength is that he could throw a couple bombs and delete someone. He could burst them so fast. There's very, very hard time to counterplay. But they drafted the Buck, and that Buck really worked out.
Yeah, the Buck as well as the Makoa, played by Unbelievable. You can see on his screen a little bit more of an experienced player at this point. It feels weird to say that because he was kind of the new guy on campus at HRX, but he played a very strong Makoa, hitting a lot of hooks, pulling a triple kill basically off by himself. It was kind of weird that even afterwards when he was shell spinning out, there was just no teammates anywhere near him, but unafraid to do those types of things, unafraid to sacrifice his life for the good of the team fight.
You know, and I think it was largely just, you know, kind of an interesting relationship between ElZulu and Bubble Boy, right? The tank and the healer. We saw in that last defense, ElZulu falls first to Mutustiina. Then Bubble Boy falls after that. And then you say JAKEB's all the way behind both of them, trying to defend by himself. PrinceDanny's 100 yards in front of them, trying to flank while they're on the defense. To me, this more looks like lack of coordination. And Bubble Boy there, he's the guy right now who's going to have to get this team together. I asked him, we were there before this game started, are you worried about going against the Bomb King? He said, we think we have a way we know to beat it.
That's good. They're gonna need it.
Yeah.
Here they go. They're going to be second pick this time around, going into game number 2 with their backs against the wall. And a lot of leadership, I feel, has to come from the support player. That's kind of the case for a lot of the top teams. The shot callers, Cuss Cutie and Bird, for their teams respectively, do a lot of the communicating, and it's easier to do from the support role if you're not having to worry about hitting shots constantly.
Yeah.
You can do a little bit more of that. Have to keep your team together, though. You cannot falter now. The set's not over. We still have somewhere to go, games to be played.
Kamyker had a lights-out performance as well, I think, on Buck. He's a very solid player. I was joking with him, man. He was doing some, you know, how esports, we make you do the kind of sometimes cringeworthy side glance from the bottom up to the top, looking hard. I say, you know, you should be a model out here if esports doesn't work out. He's got that kind of stern face, feels confident, doesn't feel like things faze him much. And the way he played Buck, he wasn't scared of Rovaniik's Bomb King. He jumped into the fights. He got him down in the first round and in the second round as well. And largely, I think he could be a big key for this team going forward.
Yeah, and Buck can do that, right? Play that distraction role. It's going to be very important to keep the Bomb King away from the rest of your team, even if it means costing you your own life.
Yeah.
Frog Isle, the selection, the map for game number 2. This is a best of 3 set, so potentially heading into the final game of this set. AGG down. WASD leading them 1-0.
The Bomb King did not prevail this last game, but will it prevail here? We see WASD. They have a chance now with the King, but they know that the King can be beat. But maybe not when they play him. AGG, their chance to prove themselves is now. And what do they go for here? We've seen the Makoa, the Drogos.
Makoa Drogos, Makoa Shaolin. Makoa, kind of the standard follow-up pick, does well against basically every character in the game, but that lockdown, that split second of vulnerability provided, forced by the Ancient Turtle there is so invaluable.
So it will be Makoa Drogos. And I like that. And you take away Mutustiina's Drogos, and right now we'll see how much of a god pool Mutustiina has, because if they let Andro slip, if they don't take Andro now, I think they let it slip to AGG. And they know that.
Yeah,
so
they do.
because Danny needs to play, he loves playing that.
Oh.
So the Shaolin comes out instead. So JAKEB will be off of that. But I don't think they take Andro here either. That would be a weird draft.
Yeah, he has places to go. AGG, they saw him hover, right? And that almost kind of gives away what you're thinking, or maybe it's a mind game where they're looking to bait you and to try and pick something, because you can see the character is unable to be picked. Oh,
okay.
Dab on
Dabbing on him.
He knows he's getting his comfort pick. He needs to dab on him this game. It's his last chance to dance.
I like that. Oh, okay. Okay, so, you know, representing with Lex here, Danny feeling confident, and the Pip as well. This may be AGG's secret plan as to part of it as to how they think they can take down the Bomb King here.
Yeah, Evil Mojo's obviously target firing out exactly who you want to kill, as well as Lex being a very strong follow-up, poking from a distance, as well as following up on Dredge Anchors, an easy way to get that done. Evie selected, though. Character that has fallen out of favor relative to where she used to be, but we are starting to see her poke her head in and out of drafts from time to time at this LAN in particular.
And right now, I would not be surprised right now to see probably a Maldamba come out here for AGG, just the extra healing, largely a healing-oriented team. We have seen Bubble Boy play Drogos, though. We did see that once in the qualifiers, but if they go for this flank pressure here, this to me just says it is all about killing Bomb King, and the Cassie comes out. Okay, this is definitely looking like secret sauce, Nick. We haven't seen this lineup.
This is secret sauce.
We have not seen this lineup in a while.
This is, I mean, it's good poke from a distance, right? So a lot of pressure is going to be on Evie, as well as it makes it more dangerous to play the Bomb King in the flank type unless he's going in right alongside Evie, because going into that backline is going to be very dangerous. A lot of potential damage and lockdown through the Pit, the Makoa, Cassie, Lex, Drogos. It's all very hard-hitting characters. Lex and Cassie can poke so effectively from a distance, it makes it kind of deters you from wanting to go in and get aggressive.
And I think Jake B, he's a fantastic Cassie. We've seen him play Cassie at the highest level. I'm feeling a little bit, I'm really interested. I want to see how this goes. I think this could be AGG coming up with something to maybe take down the Bomb King. We'll have to see if WASD lets him, though. It's their turn to shine. Spunkki will be on Bomb King with Accelerant. Fortify for Unbelievable's Barrack. Focusing Lens for skillganon's Ying. Reprieve for Kamyker's Evie. And Recur for Mutustiina's Shaolin.
Rovaniik taking Mega Potion as the sole support. Bubble Boy on the Drogo's Combustible. Death Hastens for Prince Danny. ElZulu taking Half Shell and JAKEB rounding things out with Exaction Cassie.
As we get into the fight, oh, that Mega Potion already healing him back up. Great pull there coming out from Zulu, but he looks to be bursted down. First blood onto Spunkki, and that Pip healing, it needs to be pinpoint accurate. Combustible doing a lot of work though, but here it is, the Bomb King already hunting down the Dragon and Bubble Boy, and 3 other members of AGG are forced out of this fight. And this is not looking good, 45% already.
Getting very aggressive. Later in this tournament, I expect some of the more comfortable Bomb King players and experienced teams to get aggressive in that situation and clean up those kills. The take-back potential is going to come through that much quicker, but Prince Danny does go down to the backline. Fire spit over the top. AGG look like they just want to give this one up.
Pretty sure, actually, Spunkki Poppy bombed him off the map there as they were all grouped up next to ElZulu, and that is just some of the power on Frog Isle, and the power, if you don't have that type of aerial ability like a Drogos or an Androxus that you face victim to as a Lex going up against the Bomb King near the edges there. Largely, Shaolin getting the better end of this trade with Cassie, but another good hook by ElZulu, and that will mean that this time Spunkki goes down.
3 more seconds until it comes back off cooldown. 2 minutes remain on the payload push, and WASD just forced to back up for the time being. Now 3 kills, 4 kills in the engagement. Clean sweep. AGG surge forward. Down, but not out.
Now this is where Lex gets interesting, Nick, because he's got that credit mechanic. When he gets on a defense and he slays 2, 3, or 4 in a row, and they're all on streaks because they've won the previous point fight, he can get a huge boon by the second round if he's able to keep this up.
Absolutely. 1 minute and 38 remaining here. Turning around the corner now. WSD strong. As 5 looking for the angle. We can hear the shouts coming through on the crowd. The team fight starting to break out on both sides. Both flank need to come out on top of this. Spunkki escapes narrowly with his life. Unbelievable, trying to retreat, stunned into the wall, but quickly cleaned up. Mutustiina couldn't finish the kill. Danny still alive.
Oh, Bubble Boy just saving lives there by doing damage, and that is what you need from your Drogos. Combustible a little too early on the detonation, but good damage, good tracking there on the Kamyker's Evie as well. He's going to go into reprieve. He will largely be healed up completely from that as it cleans up all the cauterize. And look at this knockback, Nick. I could see this paying dividends later on towards the edges.
Just charging up his ultimate as well. Kamyker's Evie gonna get healed up to full. Rovaniik ready for it though. 2 kills to 1. AGG leading this team fight as they find a 3rd kill. They are really not looking to give up. Unbelievable. Hooked into a bad spot. Cleaned up once again, and this trickle, like you mentioned, gonna be very good for Lex's wallet.
I hear them shouting there, Nick. They're ready to go. They want to keep this defense up, and we've seen this 2 times now. We've seen the actual really strong, solid defenses come out from WASD. It has not been a snowball by any means in this early game.
And this is Frog Isle.
Yeah, and this is snowball as it gets.
And we've seen basically every game on this map has been 4-0s. Teams really struggle to hold the defense here. 17 seconds remain in the round. Ultimates available almost across the board from WASD, so could be a close fight. Going to come down to who's willing to spend the ultimates.
Oh, unlucky. Didn't get the combustible off there. Bubble Boy going away from the support, letting Rovaniik pick that up, and now taking the Drogos, and spunkki taking Rovaniik down. This is exactly when they don't want to snowball this overtime, losing so many. It's going to be up to spunkki to finish it off, but actually Kamyker takes the double and puts him in a bad spot. Overtime ticking away. They can't go out that door, that's for sure. And they're going to have to try to get to this payload before it gets in.
Still in overtime, 5 members of AGG here, about 25%. Mistimes it though, lets Danny out of spawn, poking spunkki extremely low. Winding up the King Bomb, coming roaring down the path he just retreated from, looking for it. Gonna find the stun onto one, but under the half shell, still able to get it. Conversion though on the front side. Dome shield spent, King Bomb spent, a lot of ultimate spent, but at the end of the day, going up 2-0 puts you in such a favorable position in terms of credits, in terms of just momentum for your team. Even if giving up this payload in this round, WASD with a defense can still benefit from a point and get up 3-1. You can see the items starting to come through here. The resilience as they realize Rovaniik on this pip. Evil Mojo wasn't a factor in this round, but it's guaranteed to be at some point. Resilience going to cut the time that they are polymorphed down almost in half in some cases, and that's what they are looking for. They're not trying to be vulnerable in that polymorph state.
Clinical execution by WASD right now, and they need to go back at it. But Team AGG, if they just play this right, if they get things turning in their favor, they could be right back at it with a 2-2 tie if they do the exact same thing. This point fight matters so much, and Rovaniik has to stay in this fight. He is their Mega Potion Pip. He is their healer for this game, and he can't drop down early. That's why spunkki is throwing the bombs his way. 7% right now, 11, 15 on the point for AGG, so taking a little bit of an advantage. Great hook there. Can't combo much off of it, though.
Kamyker does find the first kill in this engagement. Ancient Rage pop. ElZulu desperately trying to hold his front line down and just falls apart. There comes the Evil Mojo. Only 1 kill off the back of that. Bubble Boy finding the fire spit over the top. One more bomb from spunkki's going to do it. He finds it, but answering back a kill onto skillganon. Still trading out either way. But WASD are winning this fight from the point.
Oh, they gate streak in a row. Triple kill for Bomb King and spunkki, and ElZulu is just not had a great day with this team on this Makoa. They haven't been able to follow up on the hooks, and it's not even ElZulu's fault. He's been getting great ones. Mutustiina showing a bit of class from range there with an impale into a planet to finish off JAKEB. But largely for me, Nick, Cassie has not shown up in any big way here. I haven't seen the impact yet.
It's just been a comfort pick for AGG. It's not something necessarily many people would agree with as appropriate for the match in particular. 2 minutes remaining here on the push. WASD with the chance to close out this set, guaranteeing themselves a spot in the group stages. There's a great angle for it. Kamyker finds a double kill. 2 more low HP targets. spunkki takes down Bubble Boy before he can trigger his file spit, and Rovaniik gonna fall as well.
Oh, he's stunned. He didn't realize the stun went down, but it looks like he will fall. Mutustiina actually got the impale into Prince Danny, and now the zone is here. AGG staring defeat in the face, staring elimination in the face, and they could go down with Cube and with Eager
100%
as being
accuracy.
the teams here that are not going to advance. They've got to defend, but this Bomb King, King Bomb, seems to be the answer for WASD to secure themselves a spot. In fact, it will. They will move on and take the wild card position over AGG. It was a quick set, Nick, but one thing it did show us here is that WASD came to play, but that the Bomb King is something they may not be as afraid of as we thought.
He can be dethroned, and the composition going to be very important going on. Flexibility, you see with their backs against the wall, AGG go to the comfort picks, and that's kind of where I think teams can risk falling apart, right? If you're looking to take something you're comfortable on rather than something that is appropriate for the situation. Not saying that that was a bad composition drafted by AGG overall, but you need to be comfortable on what is appropriate is the message at the end of the day.
Absolutely. It's, you know, comfort picks are one thing, but to reiterate, you know, if it's not something in this meta or in that map particularly that is viable, you're going to have an issue, and it just didn't seem to fit. I think it was more than just picks, honestly, Nick. I think when you look at it, it was AGG just not having, whether it was communication and clarity of play between each other. Maybe it was land nerves. You know, this is their first big boy experience here, and they'll be back. They want more, but it just didn't end up working out here as we take a look at the final scoreboard.
Bubble Boy leading the way, damage for his team by far. So the support player flexing on to one of the damage champions, Drogos there, 52,000 damage, despite the crushing defeat here, 4-0. Actually, putting himself 10,000 damage over Bomb King, and just I think I see, you know, the focus in these games starting to shift so heavily onto Bomb King, as opposed to, you look at Shaolins, who are just, they don't feel like they're under a lot of pressure, right? Everyone's watching the Bomb King. Everyone's watching spunkki Poppy Bomb in somewhere, where Mutustiina is just, he's not under a lot of pressure.
Exactly.
He can get those safe planets from downtown, getting eliminations. You can see 2 solo kills for spunkki, as he was kind of in the mood to get aggressive. That's more of the style that he was playing this time around.
Yeah, and I honestly would have liked to see, you know, if they didn't really have the squad for it in terms of playing it. It seems like we haven't seen JAKEB be a big Buck guy, but I would have liked to see that last pick Buck, because I want to know, where are we in getting closer? It's a puzzle. What variables work, what don't? I'm feeling like because Buck has that 3k HP pool, he cannot be two-shot by a Bomb King unless you run chain reaction, and that changes the game, and not a lot of people are doing that. It just puts him at an advantage in being able to sustain enough to take his attention away, still fight him, and then maybe burn him down by some other source.
So WASD, the first team to defeat Bomb King and close this set out. Very impressive stuff here. Nova Strike quest going on right now.
Talk about impressive.
In game. You can pick that up for your Kinessa. Basically, how it works is you pay your 400 crystal entry fee, and then as you get wins with your Kinessa, you will unlock more helmets, and then if you can score yourselves 9 wins after starting the quest, you got a big bad rifle waiting for you at the end.
So if you're not a good Kinessa, now is the time to be a good one, especially for your teammates as you're trying to complete this quest. So go into training mode, learn how to hit some headshots there. But the other exciting thing we got going on, you see it, 2 XP. You get 2 XP this weekend. It's pretty exciting stuff. Oh, wait, no, maybe that's a multiply. So maybe double.
That's a hot multiplier.
That's a hot 2 times XP. And that means every bit of XP you earn, just double it. You get some more if you play April 7th to 9th. So you want to make sure that you do that. It's an exciting time to be playing Paladins, to be watching Paladins. It's been great to be here on the first set of the day. We have so much more action coming up.
I Hold
Shift, Vox Tempest are here as well. They'll be casting some more games. Nick and I will be back at different points in the day. We're going to get the action started off, I believe, with Carbon 6. And who are they playing?
Nocturnes.
Nocturnes, the LATAM team. They got some pretty interesting stuff, some cool tattoos.
I'm so excited. I want to cast that game, but I'm really excited to watch that game too.
We'll be watching. We'll have some fun with that. We're going to bring up our other co-casters here to get that game with you. Hopefully you're excited. The day's starting off smooth, and we're ready to get going. It'll be Carbon 6 and Nocturnes coming up right after this for the first actual set of the bracket.